What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here. So I do want to bring up that the reason I ain't made a Scorpio video is because I feel like, since it was a tech demo, I'm not the best person to talk about tech formats and stuff like that because, I didn't go to school for it. I don't know a whole lot about, I know what a GPU is, I know what a CPU is, I know enough to get me by, but I don't know enough to sit here and do a tech demo, a tech reveal of my opinions on the tech reveal, because I'd sit up here and look like real retarded. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the video. What I've been seeing a lot lately is 4K talk, 4K this, 4K that, 1080p this, 1440p upscale, checkerboarding rendering, sparse rendering. And every time I hear this, the only thing I think of is this what gaming has turned into? We don't value gameplay anymore. We value what the game looks like. We value what it visually appears to. And, I've always said that the gameplay should go priority to what the visuals are in the game. Don't get me wrong. You don't want a 360, like, an early 360 game or, anything before that. You don't want that as your visual appearing. But, we don't get games that look that bad, so that's not really the issue. I feel like these days, these gamers want to play something that looks nice, that is necessarily a good game. I'm so sick and tired that we don't use the engines and we don't use the power of these systems, and we don't use, PC does it a little bit better because, they have a lot more indie developers, and indie developers tend to think outside the box. That's why you see a lot of the big games on the PC. And the biggest thing that really just agitates me is I feel like people will always choose, how many pixels is on the screen over what the gameplay mechanics are, over, the gameplay features. Like, for instance, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, they use something called the Nemesis system. Now, what the Nemesis system does is it's pretty much like a tracker of what you do in the game, and it narrates what you do in the game. It reorganizes the entire game depending on what you do. So, instance, if you fight someone on Shadow of Mordor and you get killed, he's going to get he's going to try to get promoted to a captain. He'll have to kill one of the other captains that's there, and it will show him, and he'll remember when you fight him. Some of them will run, and if you catch them on fire and they get away, next time you come across them, they remember that fire. They remember that fear. These are the kind of stuff that I want in gaming. I'm so sick and tired of the only talks I hear on Twitter is 4K. The only thing I hear is, the frame rate is important. I won't touch that. That is important. That needs to be addressed. But this 4K thing, I understand the games might look really nice, but it's just like, if we're only advancing how many pixels is on a screen and not advancing, the gameplay features that is in the mechanics of the game, then what's gaming really turned into? If you look at a lot of these games, these games really haven't changed at all. A lot of these games are the exact same thing their predecessors were at their sequels, and you get these new IPs that's pretty much the exact same thing as previous games in their genre. And that's the problem. We need more developers that think outside the box than, because this day, if your pixel ain't right, the gamer is gonna rage against you. And don't go at me with like 1080p or 4K is important. It is. I'm never gonna sit here and tell you that 4K or 1080p or whatever is not important. I'm just saying I'm disappointed that that's all I see on Twitter. That's all I see people care about. The Scorpio reveal, 4K 60 frames uncompromised. Okay. Why can't they use the extra power to put more people in a multiplayer match, or, do more features that actually benefit the Xbox? I feel like having more power, and they would contact some of these third-party developers and get more features in a multiplayer game, than having 4K on the screen would sell more Xbox Scorpios than having 4K. But that's just my opinion. You guys tell me what you guys feel. What is more important to you, 4K or gameplay mechanics and gameplay features? Tell me in the description. Definitely check out the Iron Lords podcast. It's in the description. It's my, it's a podcast I do every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.